Let's talk about the concept of a AWS WAN, which we also call it as a wide area network. And before we jump into the demo where we start setting up the wide area network, it is really important for you to understand what is the importance and what advantages it brings in when we start using the AWS WAN for our network setup. Let's take a look onto the network implementation diagram, which we are going to soon implement into our AWS WAN demo. So here you can see there is a network and the VPCs which I have created. And as I told you that AWS WAN is a multi-region. So here in this example, what we are going to take is we are going to take a 3 different locations. So first one is going to be our Frankfurt, second one is going to be our Stockholm, and third one is going to be our Mumbai. And in all of the 3 regions, we will have a 3 VPCs, and each VPC will have its own CIDR ranges, or we call it as a IP ranges. So here you can see 31, 41 and 51. These are the IP ranges which is starting with these numbers. Apart from that, we will also be setting up the network segmentation, and these network segmentations will be dev, then we will have a production, and then we will have a share. So these are the network segmentation which we will also be creating. And in this network implementation, we will be assuming that we have 3 locations where our offices are present. One is it into Frankfurt, one is it into Stockholm, and one is it into Mumbai. And these 3 locations, we will also have a network segmentation, which I have explained, which one is development, production, and share. So development, of course, as the name signifies, we will have a development environment where developers can develop and deploy their stuff. And then we will have a production where actual clients will access our application, which is our production environment. And the third one is the shared services. So shared services is the common, where we will have a common services which can be shared between development and in our production environment. And this whole implementation which we are going to do is going to do with the AWS WAN. And there is one more concept over here which we are going to see soon is the core network. So the core network is the backbone of our AWS WAN. And in this core network, we will be attaching all of these networking components from 3 different geographical locations. As of now, I'm taking 3 geographical locations, but in AWS WAN, you can take more than 3 geographical locations. So this is the network implementation which we are going to see, and we are going to implement bit by bit the whole architecture. Let's start with our step number 1, and here I'm going to show you the VPCs, or the 3 different geographical locations where our VPCs are present. So here, this is our dev environment, this is our production environment, and this is our shared services environment. And in these environment, or in these locations where we have already created the VPC ranges are 31.0.0.0, 41.0.0.0, and 51.0.0. So these are the IP ranges which we have already assigned, and we have already created the VPCs. And if you're wondering that how to create the VPC and how to work with the CIDR ranges and the subnet, then here I have already uploaded a video which explains all the basic concepts which are necessary to understand the VPC, subnet, internet gateway, route table, as well as our subnets. So please consider watching this video before going on to AWS WAN if you have any doubts or any queries related to our AWS VPC, subnet, route table, internet gateway. So I would highly recommend to complete this video first. Now coming back to our AWS console, so let me show you the first VPC in our Frankfurt region. So here in the search box, type VPC, click on the VPC over here. And here from the drop down, I will just only select the VPC where we will be working. So here we will be working into the development VPC. And if you click on this VPC over here, then you will find this is the VPC which I have already created. And this is the CIDR range, which is 31.0.0/16. Inside that VPC, we will have 3 subnet, which are 3 public subnet and 3 private subnet. And here similarly we will have a route table. There will be 2 route table. One is the public route table, only responsible for public routes through internet gateway, and there will be 1 private route table responsible for routing the traffic to the private subnet. And there will be internet gateway. This internet gateway is the only way through which you can access the internet, and there is a route which I have already created in our public route table. So if you take a look, then here is the route so that our public subnet can access the internet. So this is the basic setup I have done for Frankfurt region. So exactly the same setup I have done it for Mumbai region. So if I could show you, let's click on Mumbai, then you will find a similar setup over there as well. So here what I need to do, click on the VPC. So here you can see the shared services VPC, and here I'm just gonna go and select the shared services VPC, click on the subnet, then here you will find the 3 public and 3 private. There is a route table, public and private route table, and in the internet gateway. So this is for Mumbai, and there is one more which is our Stockholm region. So that is also exactly the same. So I don't need to reiterate over there, but I'll just show you. So here you can see this is our production internet gateway, and if you click on VPC, then it is our production VPC. So this is the basic setup which we have done it, and now we are going to implement and bind these 3 locations through our AWS wide area network. Now, how to create the wide area network in AWS? So for that, in the search box in any region, you can simply type network manager. Click on the network manager over here, and here it will take you to the home page or the dashboard of our network manager. And on the left hand side, you will find the option for a global network. So click on this global network, and here first thing which we are going to do is to create our global network for all the 3 geographical location. So click on this create global network over here. So here I'm just going to put the name, and the name I'm going to put is demo AWS WAN. After that, click on next. And here there is a core network setting which is optional. So we are going to exclude this at this point of a time. We are going to work on the core network later. Let's first focus on the mandatory field which is required for this whole wide area network. So here we need to put in the ASN range. So this is the ASN range which I will just go with the default which they have already specified, which is necessary for your wide area network. So you can keep these value, and it doesn't matter like whether I am using this value or you are going to use this value, but this ASN ranges should be there. After that, the edge location. So as I have been telling you that there are 3 edge locations where we will be working. One is Mumbai, one is Frankfurt, one is Sweden, Stockholm region actually. So here I'm going to select the region. So let's start with the Mumbai, first one. The second one should be the Frankfurt, and the third one should be the Stockholm. So select the Stockholm one as well, click on that one. After that, the segment name. So here the segment name which I'm going to put is shared. And why we are going to keep the segment name which is going to be shared? Because this is the segment name which will be common in all the 3 segments. So remember that I have explained to you. If you take a look onto this particular diagram, let me show you that particular diagram over here. Yeah, so here we are having 3 segments. One is development, one is production, and the one is shared. But this shared will be common in dev as well as it will be common in production. So that's why we need to keep this segment name common, and we need to specify the common segment name over here, which is shared. The description, if you want to put any description, it's up to you. Otherwise, you can skip it. After that, I'm going to click on next over here, go further down and click on create global network. So select that one. And here you can see our global network has been created successfully. All right, so after creation of a global network, there is a core network as well, which will be getting created as a part of your global network, which you can see over here. So this is the core network ID of your global network. So core network creation might take a little bit of time. So a little bit patient and try to see the status of your core network when you're creating a global network. And here you can see both are in available state, which means our global network as well as core network is ready. Now let's take a look onto the network implementation diagram and see where we are right now. So right now we have set up the global area network, we have set up the core network, and also we have set up the shared network segment, which is a common network segment which is necessary for our whole wide area network setup of AWS. Now we will be working on this core network, and in this core network we will be setting up the segmentation, which is dev as well as production, because these are the two segments which we have not set up. So let's get back to our wide area network setup and try to set up these segments. Here is my dashboard of my global network. So here, click on this global network over here, and here you will find the overview tab where you can verify your global area network. So here you can see there are 3 edge locations. So if I try to minimize over here, then here you can see this is Mumbai, this is EU North, which is Stockholm, and this is EU Central one, which is Frankfurt. So this global area network is available with us, and on the left hand side you will find an option which is core network. So click on this core network over here, and here you will find all the core network settings which we need to customize based on our needs. So here you can see these are the core network. Here you can find the details and the sharing as well as the topography. Okay, so these are the things which you can check based on your time and how much you want to deep dive into the core network setting. But these are just providing you an overview like how our core network looks like. But for our requirement and our implementation, what we are interested in is the policy version, which is present onto our left hand side. So click on this policy version and let me explain what these policies are. So here you can see this is the policy version 1, which will be created as soon as you finish your first step, which is our global network creation. So the first global network creation will create your first core network, and there will be a first policy version which will also be created for you. So this is our first policy version. Now this is the first policy version, and now we need to customize based on our need. So now we are going to click on this particular policy version, click on it, and then we are going to create the segments for our need. So as of now, if you can see over here, then these are the edge location which we have specified at the time of global network creation, which are 3, and the segment which we have specified, which is shared one. But instead of shared one, we also need 2 more segments, which is development and production. So let's try to create those 2 segments. All right, to add those segments, what you need to do, go to the top here, click on this edit policy. And once you edit the policy, then you're going to create another policy version of your global network as well as core network. So here you will find in the edit mode, there is a segment tab. So click on this segment tab over here. And here you can see there is a shared segment which we have already created. So click on create one more. And here we are going to create the segment which is our development segment. If you need to enter any description, then you can enter any description for a development segment. Otherwise, you can simply click on create segment over here. So your development segment has been created. Now we need to create a production. So again, click on this create button over here, type the production one over here. So, and after that, if there is any description you want to put it. Otherwise, let's click on create segment. And now we have created our development and as well as production segment, and shared segment, we already have it. After that, what you need to do, you need to click on this create policy button, which you can see at the bottom as well as onto the top of it. So click on create policy, and this will create a policy which is a version 2 policy, which you can see over here. So here you can see the pending generation, which means that it will take a couple of minutes to create this policy, and after that we are just going to apply this policy. Here you can see the status has changed and it is showing ready to execute. So what we need to do right now? Now we need to select the policy version 2 and view and apply change set. So this is going to apply that particular policy, and here click on apply change set, and here you can see these are the changes which it is going to perform onto our global network as well as our core network. So click on apply change set over here. And here you can see it is executing right now, and it will be completed within a few minutes. So I'll be back once this policy version 2 has been executed. And after a minute or so, the execution status has changed to execution succeed, and this policy is live on this, and this is the latest version of the policy which is running onto your core network. Let's go further and modify the policy version 2 and set some routing and how we are going to share our segment between the shared, production and development environment. So here click on this policy version 2 over here, and here what we need to do, again click on edit. And here go back to the segment sections once again, and here the development, production and shared. So the ground rule is development will be accessible from shared, production will also be accessible from a shared, and this shared should be accessible, should be able to access the development and production. So first click on development over here, click on edit over here, and here we need to select the segment. So for that, what we need to do is allow selected. Select this option, go at the bottom, and this should be allowed from shared. Or shared services network can access the development network, and similarly development network can access the shared services network. So that's how we are going to map this one over here. Click on edit segment. After that, click on production, and here you can see the development segment is allowing the segment list which is shared segment list. Production is empty, so let's click on this production over here, click on edit, and go to the allow selected, and here instead of shared, it should be shared over here. Click on shared and click on edit segment. So now development and production should be able to access the shared, and now the last thing is shared. So shared should be able to access the development and production. So it is just a cross matching we are doing. So we are just setting up that which one is allowed from which segment. So click on shared, click on edit, and here go further down, and here instead of shared we are going to do the development and then production, and then click on edit segment over here. Moving further, the next thing which we need to set up is the segment action, and here also we need to do the similar set of segment action between the development, production and our shared network segment. So here in the sharing section, click on create, and here choose the segment which is shared over here. Click on allow selected, and the segment which we are going to allow is the development, and we are going to allow another one is the production. So click on create sharing over here. Now after creating the segment action, the next thing which we need to create is the attachment policy, so that you can define like how this attachment is going to attach with our segment, and these attachment policies will be created for our development, production with the proper rule set, and these rules will have some priority which I'm going to show you right now. So click on this attachment policy over here, click on create over here, and here we are going to assign the priority or the rule number. So here let's assign the first priority, which is 1 over here, and here the segment name we can choose from the drop down over here. So we are first going to choose the development segment. Here after that, the conditional logic. So if certain value is present into that particular attachment, then that is going to attach to that particular segment. It is very easy, to be honest. Over here, click on and over here, click on add over here. So here type the value which can be equals. Let's go further down. Sorry, it should be the tag value over here. The operator should be equals, and here you can specify the tag value which we are going to put. So here I'm just going to copy one variable which is like a tag key, which I'm going to keep it as an environment. So I'm going to copy that name over here, which is environment. Let's verify the spelling so that we don't do the typo over here, and the value should be development. So any attachment which has this tag value will be automatically attached to our development segment. Click on create attachment policy over here. So here you can see the segment name is development, the tag value which equals to environment value equals to development. So if these values are present, then it is going to automatically attach to our development segment. Similarly, let's go and create another one, put the value 2, and here segment name I'm going to put it as a production, and here I'm going to select the and click on it is already showing the value. So here instead of environment as a development, I'm going to put it as a production. Click on create attachment policy over here, and let's verify it if everything looks correct. And yeah, it looks correct over here. Now let's create the attachment policy for our shared segment as well. So click on create, and this shared segment will be a little bit special because here we are going to set up some default policy. If no tag value is assigned, then we are going to attach it to our shared segment. So here the rule I will put it over here is the default rule. So I will increase the rule number or rule priority to 100. If nothing matches, then this rule will be executed. So here from the attachment segment, I'm going to choose shared over here. Conditional logic, I'm going to put tag, and here in the tag value, I'm going to choose any. So it doesn't matter what value assigned. If you don't assign development or production, then it is going to assign to our default segment, which is our shared segment. Click on attachment policy over here. And here you can see our attachment policies has been created. Once you're done with these changes, then click on create policies over here. And that will create another version of the policy, and that version of the policy, here you can see this policy is just getting generated. And this policy, once it is getting generated and it is ready to execute, then we are going to execute and apply this policy so that this policy is live and applicable onto our global network of our AWS WAN. Here you can see our policy number 3 is ready to execute. So I'm going to select that one, click on view and apply change set. And here you can see these are the changes which it is going to make. So I'm going to click on apply change set over here. And here you can see the policy 3 is now executing. So it will take 3, 4, or maybe 5 minutes to execute. So I'll be back once this policy has been executed. Now, after a couple of minutes, the policy 3 version has been executed successfully, and those are live and applied. Now, the next thing is we need to create the attachment, the rules which we have just created for the attachment. But now the time has come that we need to create the attachment. So here on the left hand side, you will find the attachment section. So click on this attachment tab over here. And here we are going to create the attachment for the rules which we have just created. And these attachment will be for 3 different locations, which is our central location, Stockholm location, and our Mumbai location. So let's create our first attachment for our development environment. So click on create attachment. So here you need to put the name. So I'm just going to put the name as development. Attachment type is going to be VPC, and the edge location is going to be our Frankfurt, because Frankfurt is our development environment. Select that one. And here we need to select the VPC ID. So here from the drop down, you can see the VPC. So this is the development VPC, which will be attached to this particular attachment. So click on that one. And here you can see these are the 3 subnet which is present into our VPC. So we are going to select these 3 subnet. So let's go with, we have 3 public and 3 private subnets. So what I'll do over here, so let's go with all the 3 public subnet. All right, you can select the private subnet as well. There is no boundation to it. Okay, let's move further, and this is important. So remember that we have set up the rules with the priority 1, 2, and 100. So 1 is for development, 2 is for our production, and that's where we need to supply the environment and the value. So here we need to carefully supply the value. So I'm just going to copy that to environment key, which is this one, and then the value, which is development. So assign that one and click on create attachment. So this is going to be our first attachment which we are going to create for our development. After creation of this attachment, then we are going to create the attachment for our production. So here you can see this is the attachment ID. This is the name of our attachment, which is development. The location is EU Central 1. And here you can see the state is creating. Let's create the second attachment for our production. So here let's type the attachment, which is production. Here the VPC type is, attachment type is VPC. Edge location is going to be our Stockholm. And here the VPC ID. So here we are going to choose the production one, which is prod EU1 Stockholm. After that, again, I'm just going to select all the public subnet over here. It is exactly the same step. I'm not changing anything over here. Click on environment, select the, copy the key name, which is environment, and the value should be the production. All right. After that, click on create attachment over here. And here you can see our production attachment is getting created over here. In the meantime, our development production attachments are getting ready. Let's create the attachment for our shared network as well. So click on create attachment. Here I'm going to type the share. Here we are going to select again the attachment type as a VPC, and as location is going to be our Mumbai. Here the VPC ID, which we are going to choose as a shared Asia South one, which is our Mumbai one. And here these are the subnets. So here I'm going to choose the public one, and after that the tag value. And if you remember that our attachment rule which we have created, so for shared services we have not kept any tag rule, we have just kept it any tag which you can assign. If you don't assign anything, then still it is going to create or attach that particular rule, which is 100 for this particular attachment. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put any tag value to this particular attachment, and I'm just going to click on create attachment. And here you can see our third attachment is also ready. Not ready, but it has been created. So let's take a look let's get back to the core network over here. And then we are going to click on attachments over here, and it will redirect us to the, so here you can see all of our three attachments, which is our development, shared, and production. And here onto the right hand side, you can see I will check onto the shared services one, but in the meantime we can check our development. So here in the development you can see the rule which has been applied is 1. And in our production, which you can see, the rule which has been applied is 2. So these are the rules which we have set up into our attachment policy. And here we have just created this our shared network attachment, which is just getting ready. So I'll be back once this shared attachment is ready. Now here you can see all of my attachments are ready, and it took around 4 to 5 minutes to get those attachment into available state. And also key thing to remember over here is this attachment rule number. So development, like for example, development segment has been assigned the rule number 1. That's how we created it. Similarly, the production one has assigned the rule number 2, and the shared, which is the default one, has been assigned the rule number 100. So that's how our attachments are ready. And one more thing which I would like to show you over here is in our core networking, through which you can verify how our networking is looking like. So here you can see like these are the 3 edge location which you can see over here. And apart from that, if you go to the top, there is a topology graph also, which also shows you like how our whole network segmentation looks like from our different edge locations. So which you can see over here, this is EU North one, EU South one, and the VPCs associated with those, if you want to take a look onto this particular diagram. And also, since our setup is limited to our VPC, but in case if you are using direct connect VPN, then those will also be visible over here, which will give you a really nice look onto how this whole networking is working. All right, next, going to the routes, which is the most important thing over here. So which will help you to troubleshoot quite a lot of issues. So for example, let's take a look onto the shared, which is our shared segment. It should be able to communicate with our production as well as development. So if you choose AP South region over here and search for routes, then it will populate the EU North one and EU Central one. So EU Central one is our development and EU North one is our production. So here this tab can be used for troubleshooting and finding the routes which are available and which are properly propagated. So these are some additional tips when you're trying to troubleshoot your AWS wide area network. Alright, so we have pretty much completed this whole setup which we are trying to achieve. So we have the VPC, we have these networking segment also, and also we are able to create all the segment attachment, and the attachment rules. Now how to test the whole thing? So for that, what we are going to do, we are just going to create some EC2 instances over here, and then we are just trying to ping those EC2 instances from each other using their IPs. But before that, there is one more important thing. We need to update the route tables of each VPC, because in that route table we will tell that, hey, there is a route for using these segments, which are these segments. So each route table needs to be updated for those routes which we have created into our AWS wide area network, which is the route for our core network, because this is the core networking which we have just completed, and these core networking routes needs to be populated into each route table, which you can see over here in each route table over here. So that's what we are going to do, and we are going to tell the route table, hey, this is the core network and please forward your traffic to these core networks. So let's get back to our route table of our VPC and try to modify those routes. So here is my Stockholm region, and if you take a look onto the diagram, then our Stockholm region is our production, and here what we are going to do, I will show you what we have discussed so far. So here you can see. So Stockholm is going to be our production, which you can see over here, and this is our Stockholm region. And here, this Stockholm region should be able to communicate with our shared services, which is over here. All right. And the shared services IPs are 51.0.0.0/16, and the production one is 41. Okay, so these are the important IP ranges which we need to keep in mind. So let's get back to our Stockholm region, go to our VPC, and here select the VPC, which is our production one. This is the VPC. Click on the route table over here, and here we have a public and private route table, and we need to modify routes in both the table. So here select the route table. I just opened into the new tab. This is our public route table. Go to the edit routes over here. Click on the add routes. So first of all, we are going to choose the production routing. So here, if anything which is coming into production, then it should go to our core network, and the core network is, which is this one. This is the one which we have set up correctly. Okay. Now, this production, so if you take a look onto this diagram, so this production should be able to communicate with this shared services. And what is the IP of that one is 51.0.0.0/16. So here we are going to add one more route, and here we are going to put that 51.0.0.0/16. And here it is going to communicate with our core network, and we are going to use the same core network. All right. So with this route, our anything happening into our production, VPC will be able to communicate with our shared services, and from shared services, it will be able to communicate with our production. All right. Click on save changes over here, and the same thing which I will do onto the private route table of Stockholm as well. So go to the private route table, select this private route table, click on edit route, click on add route. So I'll be quick over here. So I will put 8 over here, core network, select the core network, which is this one, select this one, change the, which is 51 for shared services. So change the IP range over here, 0.0.0/16. And then here it is core network, select the ARN, click on save changes. Okay, so our prod route table has been fixed. So let's get back to our Mumbai region and select the Mumbai region over here. Go to our VPC, select the VPC, which is our shared Asia VPC, which is this one. Select that VPC, click on route tables over here, click on public route table first of all, click on edit route. And if you take a look onto this particular diagram, then this public, this shared services should be able to communicate with our production as well as with our development. So we need to create the route for 31 and 41 along with our 51 for self VPC. Okay, so close this one, go back, and first let's create the self route. Click on add route over here, put 8 over here, click on core network, select the ARN, select that one, and after that we need to select 31.0.0.0/16, and here select the core network. Okay, then one last one is 41.0.0/16. Okay, and then select the core network and the ARN. Okay, So everything is done. 31, 41, 51, 31, 41, 51. Okay, that looks good. Click on save changes. So now we have updated the public route table of our shared VPC. So same. Let's go to the private route table, click on edit route, click on add route, add route, add route. So here I'm going to put the same thing. I'm just going to repeat the same thing over here. So here 31.0.0.0/16 and here 41.0.0.0/16. Okay, here core network, here core network, here core network. I'll be quick over here. And we are done, and then click on save changes over here. So now our shared services public and private route table has been updated. Now let's get back to our Frankfurt Central region. Let's see if the route table has been updated or not, but I'm guessing it is not. Click on the VPC, select the VPC, which is going to be our development one. Go to the route table, click on the public route table, and no, there are no routes. So click on edit route. So here, click on this one, modify this one, put it 8 over here so that any traffic coming to the self VPC should be also going through core network. So now we are working, sorry, it should not be like this. So right now we are on to this one. So from here, it should be able to communicate to the shared services, and shared services should be able to communicate to this one over here. Okay. So here I have added to this one, and then I will add the shared, which is 51. So here let's add 51.0.0.0/16. Select the core network over here, select the ARN, and then click on save changes. Okay, the public route table has been updated. Let's go to the private one, click on edit routes, click on add routes, change it to 8, click on core routes over here, change it, click on add route, then go to 51, then here 51.0.0.0/16, and then select the core network, select the ARN, and then click on save changes. So now all of our route table has been updated. Now I'll try to spin up the virtual machine. So if you take a look onto this particular diagram, yeah, here. So here I'm going to spin up some virtual machine in each VPC over here and try to ping those machines from each other. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll be back once I'm going to set up this virtual machine in each VPC, and then I'll try to test through the ping command. And if you don't know how to set up the virtual machine, then please follow my YouTube channel where I've shown the VPC setup along with our virtual machine. So please go and check that particular chapter. So I'll be back once this whole EC2 machines are set up, and then we can do some testing to verify our whole networking. Now I have spin up the 3 virtual machine in each region: Mumbai, Frankfurt, and Stockholm. And this is the Stockholm region. So this is the virtual machine which I have spin up with this private IP. If I go to the Mumbai region, then here you can also see the same similar virtual machine, which is this one. And the range is this private IP range, which is starting with 51 and then going to the Frankfurt, which is this one. And here you can see this is the virtual machine with this IP. All right. And all of these machines I have already logged in. So here you can see there are 3 virtual machines with the IP ranges, which you can see 41, 51, and then the 31. So if you take a look onto this diagram, then 51 is going to be the shared services. So 51, which is this one, is going to be the shared services, and the 31 is going to be, this is going to be our development, and this is going to be our production one. Okay, so from shared services one, let's try to ping the 41. So it should be 41.0.23.229. Can we ping it? So here you can see we are able to ping the production one over here. Okay. Similarly, we should be able to ping our development. So here I will I'll clear the screen over here. So we have already pinged the 41, which you can see. Now let's try to ping the 31, which is our development .21.210. So here I'm going to paste this IP address over here and hit enter. And here you can see our shared services is able to ping both our development and production instances. All right. Now from development, which is our 31, which you can take a look over here. So this is our development, which is 31, it should be able to ping the 51, which is our shared services. So here, if I try to type ping 51.0.21.10, and here you can see we are able to ping, but from our development one we should not be able to ping the production. So I'll clear this and I'll try to ping the 41.0.23.229, and here you can see we are not able to ping the production one. Okay, so that verifies our connectivity and network isolation. And here from production one we should be able to ping the shared services one, 51.0.21.110, and here you can see we are able to ping. And from the production one we should not be able to ping the development one, which is 31.0.21.210, and here you can see we are not able to ping. So which tells us that we are successful in setting up our AWS WAN. And if you have any question related to these particular session, then please put down into the comment section. And also don't forget to check my YouTube membership program, which you can find over here. If you go to my YouTube channel and onto the right hand side, if you go to my channel, and here you will find this membership program where I have uploaded quite a lot of videos only for my YouTube member, which includes more in-depth topic on various cloud, which includes AWS, Azure, as well as Terraform. Okay, so please go and check this membership program, and if you have any question, then please put down into the comment section.